Welcome back. You're with us on the newsroom, and I've got three of the sharpest political minds in the country joining us to talk about the India Today Axis My India Uttar Pradesh results. The numbers that we're putting out in the opinion poll: Yogendra Yadav, Sanjay Kumar from CSDS. They've worked together for many years. Now, of course, they're coming in with a completely different approach.
All three of us work together at one point.
Yes, so this is a good team to have back.
Still, we are not rivals.
No, you're not rivals. You're not politician. And his status is kind of half there, so yes. And Rajdeep, they've all worked together, understand numbers better than anybody else in the country, that I can guarantee. So let's take you through the results of the India Today Axis My India opinion poll. I'll start with the seat share projections for Uttar Pradesh. Axis My India is projecting that the BJP will get a single majority back between 206 to 216 seats in a 403 assembly. They're projecting that the BSP will come in third with between 79 to 85. Remember, in the opinion poll that was done in October, the BSP was at second. They've slipped since then. Axis My India projects that the SP will come in at number 2 with between 92 to 97. I want to build a caveat here that this poll was done between the 12th of December and the 24th, which is before the SP dangal really exploded. It was simmering, but it hadn't exploded in the way that it has over the past couple of weeks. The Congress, despite what Rahul Gandhi and Prashant Kishore are doing, is actually down to between 5 and 9. I want to take you through the vote share numbers. The vote share numbers are also very interesting because the vote share numbers show that between October, which is the pre-demonetization period, the BJP had a 31% vote share estimate. That is projected to go up now to 33%. So the vote share projection for the BJP going up 2%. The SP and the BSP in this poll are both shown at 26% each. They're both shown at 26% each. Despite that, the SP is getting more seats. That's because the SP vote is more concentrated in their pockets of influence, whereas the BSP vote is spread across the state. So that basic assumption laid out, I want to start by asking Sanjay Kumar first, because you did an opinion poll for CSDS, the numbers of which were very different. Now, this is what people are thinking. A, this is done before the SP dangal exploded. B, right now, nobody knows whether Akhilesh and Mulayam and Jayant will fight together. What do you make of the numbers in the way that they're emerging right now?
No, Rahul, the CSDS poll was also done before the dangal started and much earlier than this poll. My own sense is that there is an overestimation of BJP, maybe because there is an euphoria, because people are still recollecting that BJP did very well in Lok Sabha elections. So maybe that there is some effect of that, but our poll, the poll which CSDS conducted, clearly shows that SP has an advantage over BJP. It is much closer. SP and BSP are much closer compared to what is shown in this.
So usually, Rajdeep, the direction is the same, the numbers may vary. Here there is a huge difference in who's supposed to be in the lead. He says Akhilesh is in the lead. Axis My India says no, it's Amit Shah and Modi.
In fact, if there is one state where I've seen this happen, barring possibly in the 2012 elections, it is Uttar Pradesh. 2007 also, the pre-poll survey had actually put, even of CSDS, had put Mulayam ahead of Mayawati. By the time you came to the post-poll, Mayawati had moved well ahead. Uttar Pradesh, I think, is the most fragmented of our polities today. And that sometimes can lead possibly to different polls coming up with different results. The projections can be different. Not such variations of the kind that we are seeing at the moment. That is surprising. 206 is what we are giving. I think they gave only 140 to the BJP yesterday and 150 to the Samajwadi. We are giving 90. The variations are surprising. But if there is one state, Rahul, where it is possible because of the nature of the contest, I think what we are suggesting is completely that the BJP is pulling ahead and the other two are lagging well behind. What CSDS seems to suggest is a tighter two-way contest at the moment between the Samajwadi Party and the BJP, and the BSP lagging behind.
So this poll is like a sweep for BJP, which we are saying that it is not a sweep.
But at 33%, if this percentage is right, at 33% you can expect the BJP to get 200 plus. Mayawati with 29% got a sweep in 2007. 29% is what gave Samajwadi Party a sweep in 2012. So if the numbers in percentage terms of ours hold, then the BJP is poised for a sweep. But once the numbers start coming below 30%, and the BJP is usually over-exaggerated in polls, then you are entering a much tighter
One
race.
of the problems for the BSP in this opinion poll, Yogendra Yadav, seems to be that they're not getting additional communities to come on the Mayawati bandwagon. They've got their Dalit vote solidly intact. In 2007, they had Brahmins and upper castes voting for them. They're not getting extra votes this time. So is it to suggest that this election is essentially between Akhilesh and Modi, the BJP and the SP?
In talking about BSP, we have to be additionally cautious because here is a party which has been almost always underrepresented by opinion polls. So one has to be cautious. Having said that, I think it's fair to say both the polls are saying between the last 3 or 4 months, there has been a little dip in the case of BSP.
Why do you think that's happened?
BSP hasn't been able to generate that cross-sectional enthusiasm, and especially BSP's over-dependence on Muslim votes this time, which doesn't seem to be shifting towards that in that way. In fact, having said that, I think let's draw the larger thing. I was surprised when I looked at the CSDS figures yesterday. I don't belong to CSDS anymore. I was surprised because I thought there may have been an overestimate of SP, not because they have done anything, but because there is generally a bias in favor of the ruling party. But I was even more surprised when I saw your figures today, because that I thought we need to correct, A, for the fact that BJP is almost invariably overrepresented, overestimated in almost all the Uttar Pradesh polls that I've seen in the last 10 years. And there may have been a recall factor for which the adjustment have been made. I don't know. I think that the fair conclusion to draw at this stage is BJP is back in the reckoning, not out as they were in 2012, not at the peak as they were in 2014. SP, if it stays united, is very much in the race. Attempts to bring back Congress haven't worked. BSP is in the reckoning but taking a slight dip. These are the conclusions we can draw. Beyond that, we should hesitate.
This is where I want to go, because that's where the numbers
know,
end,
as a journalist,
and
you would like
that's where
to.
the analysis begins, and that's where I want to draw on your expertise.
Yogen was saying
Yes.
that BJP is not only overestimated only in UP, but also in many other states. If you look at Bihar or some other states where BJP is in power or they are a very strong party, whenever we have done a survey, we have always found out that there is an overestimation of BJP, and this is precisely because...
Rajdeep, over the last 1 week, Akhilesh Yadav has emerged as an icon of sorts. He shed the baggage of Shivpal Yadav. We don't know how this dangle will end, but do you believe that if there are two SPs that are fighting, and if the Congress, the RLD and the SP, Akhilesh, were to get together, that gives Akhilesh an advantage in a two-cornered race?
My sense is very clear. If there's a fragmented opposition, it's advantage BJP. Look at every election post 2014.
It is sweep BJP.
You know, even in Maharashtra, a state where the BJP didn't have a large base of its own, there also the BJP emerged as the #1 party because the opposition was fragmented. Shiv Sena, NCP, Congress. So if there's a fragmented vote, whether that's SP two ways, which actually makes it then even easier for the BJP because Akhilesh will be fighting a SP candidate along with the other side as well. If on the other hand, the SP does unite eventually, gets the cycle symbol, then aligns with Congress, aligns with Jayant Chaudhary, creates some kind of a Mahagathbandhan, then you may well see a different picture. Because as we saw in Bihar, when the opposition does unite, the BJP does get into trouble. My sense is, Yogendra and Sanjay can correct me if I'm wrong, the core base of the BSP and the SP is larger than the BJP. The core vote in UP is larger. So the BJP needs, in a sense, much more incrementally in a state election than possibly the BSP and SP needs. If the incremental vote goes towards BSP, the BSP has advantage as we saw in 2007. If it goes to SP with the Congress and the RLD on its side, Akhilesh Yadav is the X factor of this election. I'm not going to call him an icon yet. The media has started calling him an icon. I'm not sure how iconic he's become. But
he's like Nitish Kumar. He seems to have popular rating as you travel across Uttar Pradesh. People are not saying negative things about Akhilesh Yadav. That is to his credit. And whatever baggage there is usually associated with the Shivpal Yadav. And if you leave that baggage behind, it does really work to Akhilesh's
More than that, very quickly, more than that is the fact that the BJP doesn't have a chief ministerial candidate. Akhilesh Yadav could play on that in 4 weeks if he is able to create a Mahagathbandhan, but only if he is able to create a united Mahagathbandhan.
I wouldn't compare Akhilesh with Nitish, at least of the first regime, because in the first regime you went to Bihar. You didn't have to do any poll. You looked around and Bihar was different. I don't see that kind of a difference happening in Uttar Pradesh. In fact, as a matter of fact, in these years, Uttar Pradesh has slipped behind Bihar in so many things. Governance record, it looks better for the last year or so, only because the record prior to that was very bad. So I wouldn't put him in that category at all. But indeed, he has emerged stronger than his father. Today, it is not Akhilesh who's damaging Mulayam. Mulayam might damage Akhilesh. So clearly, he's emerged.
Let's take some more data points out. Who should be the next Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh? When this question was asked, 33% of the respondents said Akhilesh Yadav, much more than anybody else. Mayawati came in second at 25. Rajnath Singh, who's expressed zero interest in doing this job, came in at 18. Now, if you add Rajnath Singh's 20% and Yogi Adityanath at 18%, that's 38% approval rating for a BJP candidate, whoever that may be. What do you think of Akhilesh coming in Sanjay Kumar at number 1 here?
This is not surprising. Any incumbent chief minister, if he has performed even reasonably well, he would like to get the rating number 1 in any state. So whether you ask this question in any other state, this is likely to happen if the performance has been reasonably good, and that is the kind of a approval rating of the SP government in Uttar Pradesh.
Also, let's look at demonetization, because that was the X factor when this poll was conducted. Remember, demonetization was announced on the 8th of November. This poll was conducted between the 12th and the 24th of December. Demonetization, Yogendra Yadav seems to have very high approval rating. 76% saying demonetization is good, only 23% think it's bad. When people were asked, are you facing a problem because of demonetization, 58% said yes, 42% said no. Despite that, those people seem to say that they'll vote for Modi in the belief that demonetization in the long run will be good for the Indian economy. They're backing demonetization.
That doesn't surprise me because on balance, public has approved the first round of demonetization. In fact, they had asked a more interesting question. They said, is it good? Is it good but badly implemented, or is it bad? And then you realize the 70% splits into two. Half of them think it's good, half of them think it's good but badly implemented, which is a fair consensus in the country. Round 1 has gone with Mr. Modi on demonetization. The question we should be asking is, number 1, will demonetization remain as salient an issue 6 weeks from now, 7 weeks from now? Second, post December 31st speech of Mr. Modi, where he almost acknowledges he has nothing to report on black money, has the opinion swung against him? We don't know.
The BJP very clearly wanting to shift the narrative away from demonetization. The new campaign posters in Uttar Pradesh make no mention of demonetization. Polls are still a few weeks away. Will this be in some senses a referendum as the BJP was originally hoping on demonetization, or will it be down to local issues?
If BJP wins, it will be a referendum. If they lose, who matters?
He's taken my words away from me. You've taken the line away from me, but that's exactly how it is. You know, if the BJP wins, they may well win on factors completely distinct from demonetization, but the Prime Minister and his cheerleaders will say it's because of demonetization. If they lose, on the other hand, they will say it's because of the local unit. Exactly what they did in Bihar.
Exactly what you do with every poll.
What I do with every poll, exactly. But you know, that is the concern. I think demonetization perhaps has been exaggerated in the context of state elections. You know, one factor, you said Akhilesh is the most popular chief minister, but what about his MLAs? At the end of the day, people are also going to see who's my MLA. As of now, he's not discarding 50% of his MLAs from the list. There are only about 50, 60 which are probably going to be dropped. 140, 150 sitting MLAs will again be contesting. There are question marks over them. You know, Akhilesh faces some burdens which Nitish Kumar did not. Nitish Kumar was still seen, compared to the rest, well above. Akhilesh, I'm not sure. On law and order, look at the poll. Mayawati is rated higher than Akhilesh.
Much higher,
much higher. So there are, there is the Mayawati factor in UP which was not there in Bihar. In Bihar, you were able to create this sort of complete Mahagathbandhan against the BJP, which doesn't exist in UP. Mayawati is not going anywhere. Her core 18, 20%, 22% vote is there.
But she's not getting extra vote, and that's the problem.
She's struggling with the extra vote. Akhilesh has a better chance of getting the extra vote at the moment because he's in a better a position possibly to get younger voters, possibly to get the Congress voters on his side, RLD voters on his side. That may give him some kind of an edge. But I still believe at the moment, it is the BJP's election to lose. They were 42% Rahul in 2014. At 42%, they had more than 320 seats. Even now, they've gone more than 100 seats down compared to 2014. Therefore, it is the BJP's election to lose. They will require a huge swing away for them to lose. Is that swing there or is someone gaining? We don't know.
And the best case scenario for BJP would be to lose 10% vote at least, from 42% to 32%.
But even at 32%, they would still win.
But that is the best case scenario for BJP. They might even lose
Also,
12%.
on the question of whether the BJP should declare a chief ministerial face, a whopping 69% of the respondents, Sanjay Kumar, say the BJP should have a face. Do they have a face? In your view, should they declare a face or just fight on the Prime Minister's face?
Oh, I think if BJP had a face, they would have already declared. They know that there are various factions within the party. If they declare a person as a BJP candidate, there would be other factions which would start pulling the candidate. So announcing the candidate is going to be a negative factor for BJP rather than a plus factor, and that is why I think BJP is not going to announce the candidate, and they won't announce till the date of election.
Okay, so final words from all three of our guests, starting with Yogendra Yadav. How do you see this UP dangal end between the two Samajwadi Party camps? Will there be a compromise in your view? If there's a compromise, will there be an alliance between the Congress, the RLD and the SP? If there is, can that stop Modi's wrath?
Rajdeep is a better person to answer on the internal dangles. All I feel about Uttar Pradesh is we are looking at a dual vacuum. A governance which is very ordinary. Today you might wish to say whatever after last 1 year bit of performance. It's a very ordinary performance versus an opposition which has been able to offer no credible alternative. It is in that vacuum that we are discussing these very tiny factors like Akhilesh's little image and BJP's little face and so on. Otherwise we should have been discussing something else. So it is that absence of either solid governance or credible opposition that strikes me in this Uttar Pradesh election.
Rajdeep.
You know, my sense is the UP dangal will be resolved in some way with the cycle symbol staying with Akhilesh Yadav. I believe Mulayam Singh Yadav has realized that the ground is slipping under his feet.
But what makes you say that?
That's my sense. My sense is Mulayam Singh Yadav cannot afford to be a fourth player. You know, I think he realizes at the end of the day, Akhilesh is his son. Somewhere Netaji and Akhilesh is the Neta. So Netaji and Neta will eventually, in my view, make some kind of a compromise. That's my sense. But I think the larger picture, and Yogendra is right, Prime Minister goes to UP, who does he hark back to? Kalyan Singh. That means that was almost 20 years ago. Where is the new BJP leadership? It doesn't exist. The Samajwadi Party is caught in this parivar. You know, you've allowed Shivpal Yadav to virtually, rule the state for 4.5 years, and suddenly you've developed muscle. Question mark. Mayawati, all said and done, is a tainted leader today. She's not the Mayawati of 20 years ago, 10 years ago. There are serious question marks over her credibility as well. And the Congress party, after all Rahul Gandhi's Kisan Yatra, where have you ended up? You will probably be the B team of Akhilesh Yadav. What does that show?
They'll be lucky if they're the B team of Akhilesh
So
Yadav.
at the moment,
Prashant Kishore and Rahul Gandhi will have a lot of egg on their face.
Rahul, there are no visible alternatives today in UP. That is the stark reality. In the Lok Sabha election, Mr. Modi was a clear alternative. He benefited from that. In a Vidhan Sabha election, UP is bereft of options. In comparison even to Bihar, where Nitish Kumar stood out in comparison to the others.
Okay, I'm going to leave it here. Thank you so much to all three of you for joining us. Rajdeep, Sanjay Kumar, Yogendra Yadav. Great having this picture frame. We're going to get our producers to take an image and we can put it out
We can do a photo
on
of selfie.
Twitter.
Or we only leave it to the Prime Minister to do selfies.
No, we can do one right now. Wait, here we go. So here we go. This is
Rahul is
interesting.
a new age TV journalist.
Three of our top
Please send it to us
political...
on WhatsApp.
Yeah, 1 second. Here we go. So here we go. 1, 2, no, Rajdeep, where are you?
Reminds me of my previous work.
1,
Great.
2, and here we go. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Wish you all the best. Thank you so much. Great having you as always. Thanks, Rajdeep. Goodbye, good night. I look forward to seeing you at 10 p.m. tomorrow evening when we look at the numbers for Punjab, we look at Goa and Uttarakhand. So I hope you can tune in. Till then, from all of us here in the India Today newsroom, goodbye, good night.